Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of Travel News Weekly by Turnpikes.com. I'm Danny Pryor reporting. We start this week with a quick check on gas prices as the joint U.S.-Israeli military operation in Iran continues. The national average price of regular unleaded topped $3.95 by Monday morning this week. The numbers are monitored by the American Automobile Association. During its weekly fuel price report, the AAA noted the national average had gone up about 29 cents in the past week. That marks the second highest week-over-week gain in prices since the start of the Middle East conflict. However, that increase was smaller than the 34-cent increase the previous week. A quick update regarding the webinar for the Gordie Howe Bridge this week. We reported last week the webinar was set for Monday at 1 p.m. However, the webinar is for Friday, March 27th at noon Eastern. The Monday event was later reported as an in-person event. That was to have been held in Detroit. Originally, organizers had sent out a cancellation notice on the Friday webinar, which led to the confusion. Again, the Monday event was to be an in-person event. The actual webinar is still to come, Friday the 27th at noon. Email info@wdbridge.com to grab any available slots. Speaking of bridges connecting Michigan and Ontario, it has been reported in the past week tolls on the Blue Water Bridge will remain the same for a crossing from Canada into the U.S. as the new fiscal year begins April 1st for operators of the Canadian side of that bridge, Federal Bridge Corporation. That particular international crossing connects Port Huron, Michigan with Point Edward, Ontario. Michigan DOT operates the U.S. side of the bridge's operation. So far, no notice of any toll changes there. Presently, a crossing from Canada into the U.S. is $7 Canadian. A crossing from the U.S. into Canada is $5. That is U.S., of course. This is the charge for regular passenger cars, by the way. It was a week of inventive ideas from tolling authorities seeking to collect unpaid and uncollected tolls. 1 week after the New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority released details of its ever-increasing rate of uncollected tolls, it was announced the Ohio Turnpike Commission was considering public shaming as a way to collect nearly $26 million in unpaid tolls for 2025. Cleveland.com reports authorities in Ohio are considering using artificial intelligence to identify drivers who cover their license plates to avoid tolls, so-called ghost plates. That is an issue the MTA has said plagues their agency's toll facilities as well. One of the companies that makes widely used tolling equipment, including across the U.S., is Kapsch, which recently showed off a new AI-based toll invoicing system that could rely on identifying vehicles regardless of whether the license plate is hidden or legible. The technology was on display at the Intertraffic Conference in Amsterdam earlier this month. Kapsch's COO, Samuel Kapsch, explained the system, which the company calls HotCap, fingerprints vehicles to identify them for accurate toll billings. This continues a now years-long effort by the Vienna-based company to integrate artificial intelligence into its tolling systems. However, there is no word of when HotCap will be ready for release or whether it will be released first in Europe, Asia, or the United States. It will be interesting to see which agency shows interest first. That will wrap things up for this week. We look ahead to next week's report when we will dive into Distracted Driving Awareness Month. That's what April is. No fooling. In the meantime, we thank you once again for watching and listening. Please drive safely and, as always, avoid distracted driving. I'm Danny Pryor reporting for Turnpikes.com, the Turnpike Authority.